all me things.
Just 3 or 4?
Yeah, because Fiesta medals are. I'll let Jim do that.
There we go.
You feel up to that?
I remember. If I don't,
I'll do it then. It is booting.
light is on.
Susan's there. It is.
Good morning. Buenos dias, and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. Our weekly worship is where we connect, share information, and inspiration. My name is Jim Noel. My pronouns are him and he. I've been a member of this church since 1993. I met my wife Polly, who grew up here in Baton Rouge, where we were members of that church. And I've been in the choir for many years. I've been board president. I've been helping with technology. So, I do a little bit here and there and enjoy my time here. Let us begin by recognizing the early name of this place, Yanahuana, the traditional lands of the Coahuiltecan people. They and all of the plants and animals were the original stewards of this land. Let us remember their care and live with the understanding that we belong to this place. At our church, we strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our work for justice for all and for our planet. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we hope that you will find your place with us. There's a short announcement here that there is not going to be a meeting today about the budget. That's only going to be online next time on Tuesday. So if you saw something about one after church today, don't worry about that. This place is a garden filled with the beauty of difference. Each of us carries something beautiful with us, and at this time we pause to recognize and greet this beauty. Please reach out and connect to a neighbor that you know or don't know and say hello.
That'd be great.
So I saw there was no notation about somebody else doing it.
Yeah. Chalice. Yes. Or if you want. Welcome. If you have come weary or afraid, welcome. If you have come with an empty cup, welcome. If you have come disheartened or disconnected, welcome. For here we will extend an invitation to simply be who you are. Here we will gather to inspire and refresh your spirit. And here we will all be involved in creating the beloved community. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Si vienes cansado y temeroso, bienvenido. Si vienes sin nada, bienvenido. Si vienes desanimado y desconectado, bienvenido. Aquí extendemos una invitación para si es simplemente quien eres. Aquí nos reunimos para inspirar y renovar tu espíritu. Y aquí todos estamos involucrados en crear una comunidad amorosa. Bienvenidos. And if you are a youth who is planning to stay the whole service, you are welcome to play Minister Bingo. There are cards. Bridget will distribute them. Okay, y'all can play too. There are prizes. Okay? But today is a Minister Bingo day. And let us join our voices together, and I invite you to rise and body our spirit and sing our first hymn, 287, Faith of the Larger Liberty. It's in your gray hymnal.
Church, Chalice lighting words today come from Reverend Dr. David Breeden. We gather into this circle of care to dream, to envision, to embody and achieve the compassion we dream, the justice we envision, the dignity of each in an ever-growing circle of love and justice.
We are called, as Unitarian Universalists, to build the beloved community, where all are welcome as blessings. Let us recite our covenant that articulates our promises and binds us together. Please read together from your order of service or on the slides. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to the exaltation in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad, y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría en libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro. So, how was your week? Yeah, busy? Did you get good rest and excellent nutrition? Did you see beauty in every step? Or did you sleep fitfully after days consumed with irritations and distractions? Either way, we made it this far, okay? And for that, I am so grateful. At this time, I invite you to come forward and light a candle of joy or sorrow, or that mixture of both. We light these candles in the hope that each light will serve to guide our hearts towards love. Thank you, sir. these candles lit, and for candles lit only in our hearts, let us give thanks. And now, from our community book of joys and sorrows, Maggie Joseph was hospitalized on April 17th with a serious kidney infection, and a large kidney stone was causing a blockage. She has been at Methodist Hospital and has received great care and has recovered really well. I've been to see her twice, and she is currently in the rehab unit, and she will be discharged to go home on Tuesday. And she still has to consult with doctors and schedule surgery sometime in May, but her wife Lucy Norton and her cat Lily are looking forward to having her home, and Maggie misses us, her church community. So we hope to see her next Sunday. And there is the sorrow of every life that has been lost or shattered this week by a gun. And we are also thankful for a thoughtful and professional San Antonio judge and all of the people who voted for her for a job well done, which will greatly impact the rest of this person's life. And we are also joyful for the flowers donated today by Jan Riolini. Thank you, Jan, in honor to celebrate Willie Nelson's 90th birthday. Yes. He is a treasure. All right, because today is a fine morning and you are fine people, I invite you to join me in a Buddhist Metta meditation. We've done this before. It's simple enough. All ages can participate. We're going to say the same words 3 times. And the first time we say these words, we say them for ourselves. And then the second time we say them for somebody whom we love or we care about. And then the third time we say them for somebody whom we might not be feeling as warm towards, somebody with whom we are not in right relation. Okay, somebody who's just irked the snot out of us. Okay. Now, most people are going to presume that the third time is the hardest, but let's just try. You can decide, okay? Let's start. I'll say the words, and then you'll say them after me. First time, we say for ourselves, may I be free from danger. May I be happy in my mind. May I be happy in my body. May I have ease of well-being. Now, said for a person I love. May you be free from danger. May you be happy in your body. Mind. May you be happy in your body. May you have ease of well-being. And now, said for a person with whom I am not in right relation. May you be free from danger. May you be happy in your mind. May you be happy in your body. May you have ease of well-being. May it be so. And blessed be. All right. I have a story. Let's see. And anybody who wants to be close while the story happens, you're welcome to come. Yes, thank you. This thing works. You're welcome to come forward to be closer to the story. There's seats up here. There's seats here. Okay. Anybody want to come closer? Bridget's brave. Come on, Bridget. We're going to tell this story. This story is going to get told. Anybody else want to be a little closer? Okay. Come, Sophia. Whoop. Come, Lauren. I'm a little tippy today. Here we come. There's the energy I need. Woohoo! Okay. All right, here's a story a long time ago, once upon a time, in a time that never was, when always is. There was a stone cutter. And a stone cutter is a person, their job is to take a hammer and a chisel and go tink, 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 tink on stones to make chunks of stones. And those stones can be used, I don't know, to build buildings like the ones we have here. Or like the church. And so, but this is really hard work. It's really hard work to be a stone cutter. Tink, 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 tink. One day, the stone cutter was heading home after work. He was tired. He was dusty. And as he walked right past a big, fancy house with a really big one with fancy gates and a big green lawn with peacocks strutting in and the big house. And he said, "Wow, a really wealthy person lives there. That person has so much money. That's a lot of power. Golly. I wish I was that person." Poof, just like that. He became the wealthy person in that gorgeous house. There were people running all over. There were the peacock tenders and the lawn crew and people making things happen. He was wearing gorgeous clothes. He said, "Wow, I like this power. This is pretty nice." And just about that time, he heard a commotion out in the road, and he looked, and he said, "Uh-oh, here comes the high official." Well, the high official was very powerful in the land, and as he was coming along, there were all these strong people carrying him on a chair, and he was wearing gorgeous silk and embroidered robes, and there were soldiers marching in front and soldiers marching behind, and everybody had to come out, and they had to bow in front of the high official. The now wealthy man goes, and he's bowing in front of the high official, and he's thinking, "That's some power. I wish I had that kind of power." Poof! Just like that, he became the high official. He's sitting there on this chair wearing these gorgeous silken robes and sturdy people carrying him. He's like, "I like this. Look at all the people bowing. This is pretty nice." And then he notices up in the sky, it's a sunny day. He's getting a little hot. The sun is beating down on everybody, and the crops are starting to get a little wilted, and he's getting a little hot inside those silk robes. He's like, "Now that's some power." The sun touches everybody. I wish I could be powerful like that. And poof, just like that, he became the sun.
Every time he said, "I wish," he got his wish.
I know, it's the darndest thing, but let's find out what happens. There he is, the sun, and he's shining down on absolutely the entire planet. And he is making everybody warm and some of them hot. And the trees are growing and the grasses are wilting and everything is touched by the sun. Oh, now this is some power. You touch the sun. Oh, but then a cloud floats in. A cloud comes and blocks the sun so that the sun is not reaching anybody. The sun is like, "Hey, wait a second. What's that cloud doing here? That's some power to even be able to block me. I wish I had that kind of power like that." Poof. He became the cloud, and he was a strong cloud. He was a cloud that was gathering more and more moisture, and sure enough, he began to rain on everything and caused flooding, and the roads were washing out, and the plants were getting flooded, and people were running into their houses, and this is some power. The cloud began to feel something pushing it, and dispersing it. It was the wind. It was the wind. What's this power? This wind. Whoa, this wind is pushing everything, pushing all the trees, pushing me. Oh, whoa. I wish I had the power of that wind. Boop. That cloud became the wind. That cloud now was the wind, and the wind rushed and touched everything. The wind was unstoppable. It blew hats off of people. It bent the trees. The wind was the most powerful thing until it hit the side of a rock wall. Rock
wall, a whole cliff of rocks, and the wind tried to hit it and hit it. It couldn't bend it. It couldn't move it. At best, it could go around it. And the rock just sat there, solid. It didn't matter whether the sun beat down on it. It didn't matter if the rain poured onto it. It didn't matter if the wind blew around it. The wind now said, oh, I wish I had the power of that rock to be so immovable. Oh, and boop, just like that, he became the rock. A solid face of stone, grounded because it is the ground. And at that moment, the rock became aware of a sound. Tink, 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 tink. Tink, 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 tink. And that is when the stone realized that there was a stone cutter. Okay. Okay, if you could, poof, what would you be? The sun, the wind, the rain, a cloud, a tree?
I would be a fairy.
A fairy, good. Fairies got powers. What kind of powers would you like to have? If you could have different powers. Invisibility? Super speed? Wisdom? Wisdom? Okay, we got one vote for wisdom. What would you want? Invisibility, speed, wisdom, patience, creativity? Oh, okay. Maybe we all have a little bit of these already in us. And maybe some of us will just be stone cutters too. Okay. All right, now, dear ones, if you would like, you can stay here with your families, or you can go out and play. And those of you who stay are welcome to play Minister Bingo. What happened to all the who knows, the youth? They didn't care. Okay, all right, who knows? Okay, so at this time, let us sing our children to their next fun.
The offering is a sacrament of the free church. It is given freely and received in gratitude to sustain the mission of this place. Would the ushers please come forward?
Our theme this month has been resistance. And the wonderful thing about living in Texas is that we have so many opportunities to practice resistance. No one knows for certain when a human life begins. So we're locked in endless arguments, impossible to win. When we believe so differently, why must we live the same? Why not trust each other's choices? Give up the power games. There are those who claim that I have no right to choose what's happened to this land of liberty. This is my life, my must live my truth, or there is no freedom. I have no freedom. There can be no freedom for me. You can't decide for me. I can't decide for you. We never could imagine walking in each other's shoes. A miracle for you might be a tragedy for me. It all depends on who we are, who we're meant to be. There are those who claim that I have no right to choose what's happened to this land of liberty. This is my life, my body. I must live my truth, or there is no freedom. I have no freedom. There can be no freedom for me. My life is in danger. There is no time to waste. But since the laws have changed, the help I need may come too late. I still can't understand, though I have asked time after time. How could anyone believe that saving my life is a crime? There are those who claim that I have no right to choose what's happened to this land of liberty. This is my life, my body. I must live my truth, or there is no freedom. I have no freedom. There can be no freedom for me. No freedom for me. Freedom for me.
We bless these gifts, and we bless you as givers. May it be so. Our reading this morning is The Clearing by Martha Postlethwaite. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worth a rescue.
Gotta get things set up. All right. Thank you, Dana. Your song is important. You matter, and I love you. This month's worship theme has been about taking the path of resistance. And earlier this month, I spoke about how resistance can make us stronger when we are well-rooted, like trees being blown by the wind. And resistance is demanded of us in the face of oppression and indignity. Now, I want to warn you about some of the dangers of resistance, because nothing, not even cookies and ice cream, is ever all good all the time. To live well and wisely, we must learn how to resist well and wisely. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned us, "He who fights with monsters should be careful, lest he thereby become a monster. And if thou gaze long into an abyss, the abyss will also gaze into thee." And we've all seen this happen. I mean, really. We all have met, or even been, the impassioned person who takes a stand and mounts a resistance to something and then just becomes an awful boor about it all. I mean, like who wants to be that person at the party who just stands by the bowl of chips and only talks about the dangers of high fructose corn syrup or capitalism, right? And that's all they'll talk about. And yeah, I mean, I know they're right and all, but really, are they having any fun? Okay. I know for some of us, resistance becomes a spiritual practice. It becomes how we worship. This is our love at work. But even Ralph Waldo Emerson advised, quote, "It behooves us to be careful what we worship, for what we are worshiping, we are becoming." And I'll paraphrase this into, be careful what you resist, for what you are resisting, you are becoming. And perhaps this is what we are seeing with the apartheid in the land that was once Palestine. A people longing for homeland are creating homelessness for others. We see it when ideologies become more important than relationships, when neighbors give up small talk and just post more political signs in their yards, each household certain that they are holding the line against the other. Or parents clinging to an ideology of hatred decorated as family values who then shun their own children. We have seen this. We must learn to resist wisely. For if we are not careful, we will be bent and twisted from the effort. Let me explain. If we attempt to oppose power by exerting power, we become locked in a power struggle, and that is very tiring. If we were to fix upon a single thing to resist, we risk taking the shape of the thing itself. We become its mirror, and we can never be free of its influence. If we attempt to change a rigid structure with rigidity, we risk becoming brittle and easier to break. And this is what makes nonviolent resistance so subversive, because it subverts the premise that violent power is supreme. In nonviolence, we can retain much of our own energy for something, I don't know, fun, like having parties. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Really? What if I get tired? There are younger activists now who are reclaiming the radical and disruptive practice of taking a nap when they are tired. It's a thing. Nap activism. It is. Go look it up. It's because a culture that measures a person's worth by their productivity doesn't respect naps. So I would say resist that nonsense and take a nap. Also, resisting wisely does not mean that I must be strong all the time, right? It is wise to pass the baton in the relay. It is wise to pause while singing in order to take the next breath and let the other voices fill in the chorus. It is wise to fall back from the front line to gain some perspective and make some new friends. Invite them to a party. Have plenty of chips, okay? Alexander Solzhenitsyn was quoting Dostoevsky when he was saying that beauty will yet save this world. Because he was noting that what fascists fear most is not our resistance, but our creativity. Our art is our strength. So, echoing a similar sentiment, in her book, After the Protests Are Heard, by Dr. Sharon Welch, she's an ethicist, and she examines how many nonviolent justice campaigns fail. And so she examines this failure rate, and she explains that they fail not because their adversary or their oppressor is stronger or better organized. No, nonviolent justice campaigns fail due to things like infighting and rigidity. Ideological rigidity that insists on like a purity of purpose. And that kind of rigidity that limits the number of people, because not everybody has the same goals or exactly the same values. And so, but if you put this purity test on your ideology, you're just not going to get as many people who can join. Or tactical rigidity. We're going to fight it this one way. Tactical rigidity limits the range of actions that can be taken. And so, in short, nonviolence as a resistance practice, it fails most often due to self-imposed limits on creativity. And the people get worn out, and they have lousy parties. I've been to some. In 2008, a CIA pamphlet from the 1940s was declassified. And it was fascinating because it gives instructions. Mind you, this is the CIA giving their field operatives instructions on how to sabotage the work of resistance movements, the work of activists. And it instructs them to infiltrate these groups and bog down their functioning. How to bog down some resistors? Here are some of the instructions. Haggle over the precise wordings of every piece of communication. Bring up irrelevant issues as frequently as possible. Refer back to matters that were already decided at the last meeting and attempt to reopen the question of the advisability of that decision. Making you wonder, who was in that group with you, huh? In short, the best way to gum up a collaborative resistance is with picky rules and procedures. And if the resistance workers are arguing over how they're supposed to function, they're just not going to function at all. Again, very tiring. Again, lousy parties. To prevent such rigidity and fatigue, some public protesters engage in tactical frivolity. It's a thing. It's the blending of protest with humor and non-compliance and absurdity. All right? Those of us who can think back far enough, think of the street theater that the yippies used back in the 1960s. Or, closer to home, 1993, when there was a Klan march scheduled in Austin, and I think maybe 36 people actually rode a bus in from Waco. Meanwhile, hundreds of counter-protesters showed up. And the hundreds of counter-protesters lined up along the march route, and then as these people walked by, they proceeded to drop their pants and waggle their backsides. And some of the displays were kind of synchronized. And some of the people sang, "If you're happy and you know it, moon the Klan." Or even more recently, the students at UT Austin a couple of years ago who were protesting the open carry gun policies that were being presented, and they showed up at the protest waving sex toys. You can go research that one. I'm not gonna give you their slogan, but it was good fun. And that's the point. Tactical frivolity exists to break up the tension, to break up any intractability, to create space. Our creativity, our art, our joy, our laughter, our absurdity are among our best resources for resisting oppression. Right? What's that Mother Jones quote? "If I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your revolution," right? And finally, though, sometimes our resistance might look like utter stillness or even inaction. Sitting there, not pulling or pushing until the 1,000 things change, starting with the self. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tse asks us, do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? In a culture where power is supreme, where power is worshipped, disengaging from the exertion of power subverts and disrupts. Inaction becomes action. That's hard. That's very hard. So I'm going to let you figure out what's going to actually work for you. In the meantime, notice the places where you feel hopeless in the face of oppressions. Notice where you feel tired. Notice where you turn rigid or worried. And then consider all the ways that your creativity is greater than the oppression. And then join in with all of the other creators who have rearranged reality to make it more beautiful. Ultimately, resisting wisely is not simply about opposing something. Because if it is only about opposing, you are always simply just reacting against that thing. But if your resistance is about creating, you are no longer bound up and bound to the thing you are resisting, and therein lies a path to liberation. May it be so, and blessed be. And now, let us join together in the words of our closing hymn, number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. In your gray hymnal. As you go out into this world, please take these words with you. A salir a este mundo, lleva estas palabras contigo. First, listen and learn from those whose lives are so different from yours. Primero, escuchemos y aprendamos de aquellas cuyas vidas son diferentes a las nuestras. Then, passionately speak for justice on behalf of all. Luego, aboguemos enérgicamente por justicia, por justicia para todos, that all may live in health, wholeness, and love, que podamos tener salud, nos sintamos realizados y seamos amados. Blessings for the journey. Sean todos benedicios en su camino. Go in peace. Ve en paz.